The girl's name was Henry. She was 24, sharp-eyed and stubborn, the kind of person who laughed too loud at her own jokes and never backed down from a dare. Back in Seattle, she worked as a freelance photographer, chasing storms and sunrises for magazines that paid just enough to keep her moving. But the real pull was always higher, always colder. She had summited Rainier twice, Denali once, and spent 2 winters guiding in Alaska. Everest wasn't a bucket list tick for her. It was unfinished business. The mountain had taken her father's best friend in '96, and Henry had grown up hearing the stories. The storm, the decisions, the bodies left behind like markers. She told herself she wasn't chasing ghosts. She was chasing clarity. She flew into Kathmandu in early April, the city thick with prayer flags and diesel fumes. She joined a small commercial team, 10 climbers, 4 Sherpas, 1 guide who kept repeating slow and steady, like a mantra. Henry moved fast, acclimatizing aggressively, pushing limits because sitting still felt like drowning. She posted sparse updates on Instagram. A shot of the Khumbu icefall at dawn, captioned "The mountain decides." Her followers ate it up. Her mother texted every day, "Call when you can. Love you." Base camp was chaos. Tents flapping like trapped birds, helicopters thumping overhead, climbers sizing each other up over instant noodles. Henry kept to herself mostly, shooting portraits of Sherpas at prayer wheels, capturing the way the evening light turned the ice Seracs gold. She felt the altitude in her lungs, a slow burn that never quite went away. But she pushed higher. Camp 2, Camp 3. The Lhotse face was a frozen waterfall, ropes taut as guitar strings. She moved like she belonged there, crampons biting ice, breath fogging her goggles. On summit push night, the weather window looked perfect. Clear skies, light wind. The team left Camp 4 at midnight, headlamps stringing up the dark like fireflies. Henry felt invincible. The stars were so close she could taste them. They hit the Hillary Step just after dawn. The ridge narrowed, snow whipping sideways. Henry crested the balcony, lungs screaming, but the summit pyramid rose ahead like a promise. She radioed back. "I'm good. Pushing on." The guide said wait for the group. She didn't. She reached the top alone at 8:47 a.m. The world fell away in every direction. White ridges, blue sky, silence so deep it hurt. She took 1 photo, herself against the horizon, hood down, smile wide. Then she turned to descend. That's when the wind changed. It came from the north, sudden and black, swallowing the sun. Visibility dropped to nothing. Snow blasted horizontal, stinging exposed skin. Henry hunkered behind a rock outcrop, waiting for it to pass. It didn't. Hours blurred. Her oxygen bottle hissed empty. She switched to the spare, rationing breaths. The cold drilled in, deeper than gear could block. She tried to move down, but the fixed ropes were buried. She followed what she thought was the ridge, stumbling, falling, rising again. Night fell without warning. She dug a shallow snow hole, crawled in, zipped her suit tight. She talked to herself, voice hoarse. "You're okay. Morning comes. Just wait." She thought of her mother's kitchen, the smell of coffee, the way the dog used to lean against her leg. She thought of the photo she'd taken on the summit. She hoped someone would find it. Dawn was grey, merciless. The storm had eased, but the mountain was transformed. New cornices, fresh drifts hiding crevasses. Henry crawled out, legs numb, fingers clumsy. She started down again, following instinct more than memory. She fell once, hard, sliding 20 meters before the rope caught. Pain exploded in her ribs. She lay there, gasping, watching her breath plume and vanish. That's when she saw the figure. A shape in the white, maybe 50 meters ahead, tall, motionless, dark against the snow. At first, she thought another climber, lost, like her. She called out, voice cracking on the wind. "Hey, over here!" No response. She staggered closer. The figure resolved. A woman, long hair streaming like black ink, wearing only a thin jacket and pants. No gloves, no mask. Bare skin against the freeze. Impossible. The woman turned slowly. Her face was calm, almost serene. Sharp features, eyes dark as the abyss below. She didn't shiver. She just watched. Henry's heart hammered. "Who are you?" she croaked. The woman raised a hand, not in greeting but in summons. Then she turned and walked, effortless, feet barely sinking, toward a narrow couloir Henry hadn't noticed before, a slot in the ice, shadowed and deep. Henry should have stayed put, called for help on the radio, dead battery now, waited for rescue, but the cold was inside her now, a living thing eating warmth. Her legs moved on their own. She followed. The couloir twisted down, walls closing in, blue ice glowing faintly. The wind died completely. Silence pressed like water. The woman waited at the end beside a small alcove carved into the rock. Inside, a frozen pool reflected nothing. Henry stepped closer. The air warmed, impossibly. Her pain dulled. The woman spoke, voice soft as falling snow. "You came to the top of the world to find something." Henry nodded, throat tight. I thought I'd feel different up there." "You wanted to leave pieces of yourself behind," the woman said. "The mountain keeps what is given." Henry looked into the pool. She saw flashes, not memories exactly, but moments. Her father laughing at a campfire, her first summit sunrise, her mother's worried face at the airport. Then nothing, just white. "Stay," the woman said, "or go. But if you go, the cold stays with you. It follows to sea level, into warm beds, into summer days. You will never be warm again." Henry knelt at the pool's edge. The water smelled of nothing, like the instant before breath. She leaned forward. Then, no one knows. Weeks later, a Japanese team found her pack near the South Col, tent shredded, camera inside with one last photo. Henry on the summit, smiling. No tracks led away, no body. Just the silver chain she always wore, her father's old dog tag, placed neatly on top of the snow, as if someone had set it down gently. The search was called after 11 days. Too dangerous. Too late. Back in Seattle, her mother keeps the photo on the mantel. Every evening she looks out the window toward the Olympics, the distant white peaks. Sometimes she swears she sees a figure high on the ridgeline, just a second, long hair whipping, looking down, then gone. Old Sherpas at base camp speak quieter now. They say Everest has always taken those who want too much silence. They say she didn't fall. She walked in, and the snow closed behind her like a door. Now, on quiet nights above 8,000 meters, some climbers hear a voice on the wind. Soft, calling a name. Henry. Not afraid, not in pain. Just calling, as if asking someone to remember.